Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Elijah here, man, and as you can tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be talking about pro wrestling. I know this is a bit of a different video, but I thought it would be an interesting watch, I can't lie, because if you guys didn't know, right, I'm a big wrestling fan. Like, my top 4 wrestlers of all time are John Cena, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Stone Cold. And after watching the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix, I was actually inspired to make this video. That documentary really highlighted how much of a weirdo Vince McMahon really is. Like, I'm not even going to lie, yeah, I'd rather cheese grate my dick than work for Vince McMahon. But scrap all of that. Today we're going to be talking about Chris Benoit. So without further ado anyway, let's get straight to it. Chris Benoit, whose real name was Christopher Michael Benoit, was a Canadian professional wrestler who gained widespread recognition for his exceptional skills and love for the sport. Unfortunately, his legacy is overshadowed by the tragic and horrific events that transpired in the final days of his life. I find Chris Benoit's story to be very interesting, you know, because WWE tried to brush his name under the rug. And if you mention Chris Benoit's name in the WWE, it's almost like saying the N-word, you know, like there's zero tolerance when it comes to mentioning his name. And to fully understand Chris Benoit's story, it's essential to explore both his remarkable wrestling career and the heartbreaking circumstances that led to his tragic death. Chris Benoit was born on May 21st, 1967 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, but grew up in Edmonton, Alberta. Benoit's early years in the wrestling world were spent primarily in Japan, and in Japan he would go on to develop his skills and became known as a dedicated and technically sound wrestler. If you guys didn't know, a lot of your favorite wrestlers have actually wrestled in Japan. Many wrestlers like to go to Japan to improve their craft because wrestling in Japan demands high levels of athleticism, conditioning, and discipline. Stars like AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Kenny Omega have elevated their status by working extensively in Japan before achieving great fame in Western promotions. By the mid-1990s, Chris Benoit had established himself as that guy, fam. Like, he was him, G. In promotions like WCW and ECW. In ECW, Benoit showed his intense wrestling style, earning the nickname The Crippler after accidentally breaking an opponent's neck during a match. Now, Chris Benoit started to impress the higher ups in WCW, and he was eventually approached by Ric Flair and the WCW booking staff Mamba to become a member of the reformed Four Horsemen in 1995 alongside Flair, Arn Anderson, and Brian Pillman. Despite his talents though, WCW often mismanaged Benoit's character, which really pissed him off, and he wasn't the only person feeling this way because many of his peers felt the same too when Benoit, along with several other wrestlers, left WCW to join its rival, the WWF. In WWE, Benoit finally reached the recognition his talents deserved. His technical mastery in the ring, coupled with his intense, no-nonsense persona, made him a fan favorite. At WrestleMania 20, Chris Benoit experienced one of the greatest moments in his career. Now, this was a big-ass victory for Chris Benoit, because this victory was a culmination of hard work and perseverance for nearly 2 decades. Because winning the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE is like winning the Champions League, bro. Like, it doesn't get bigger than that. The image of Chris Benoit celebrating in the ring with Eddie Guerrero is one of the most iconic moments in WWE history. That photo gives me Shaq and Kobe vibes, I'm not gonna lie. And the thing is too, if you go on WWE's YouTube channel, right, where they recap WrestleMania 20, they don't even mention the match, thinking that we're idiots. They want us to believe that Kane versus The Undertaker was the main event. At this point, Benoit had reached the pinnacle of professional wrestling, and his career seemed to be destined for continued greatness. Benoit's personal life was marked by both highs and lows. He was married twice, with his second marriage to Nancy Benoit becoming a central part of his personal narrative. The couple had a son, Daniel, and by all accounts, Benoit was a loving father. However, those close to him described him as a man deeply affected by the death of his best friend Eddie Guerrero in 2005. Guerrero's sudden passing reportedly left Benoit devastated and emotionally fragile. Around the same time, Benoit began to show signs of serious mental health issues and exhibited erratic behavior. Concerns about his well-being were heightened by the intense physical toll wrestling had taken over his body over the years, particularly the repeated concussions he sustained during his career. And the thing is too, Vince was known to overwork his talent a lot. Despite these struggles though, Benoit continued to perform at a high level. And in June 2007, the world was shocked by the horrifying news of the Benoit family.
This is To The Point. I'm Greg Sansoni. Authorities in Fayetteville, Georgia have confirmed that the deaths of pro wrestler Chris Benoit and his family were a result of a double murder-suicide.
Over the course of 3 days, Chris Benoit murdered his wife and their 7-year-old son Daniel before exiting the map. I'm not going to say the word because of YouTube, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm going to briefly talk about CTE because it's going to be a topic that's extremely important in this story. I promise it won't be too long. So for the people who don't know what CTE is, basically, right, CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And it's a progressive neurodegenerative disease that is associated with repeated head injuries, including concussions and subconcussive impacts. CTE has been linked to contact sports like American football, boxing, and hockey. CTE is characterized by the accumulation of tau protein in the brain, forming tangles that disrupt normal brain function. Many individuals with CTE experience deep and prolonged depression, which can lead to suicidal thoughts. I'm not going to say that word because of YouTube, but you get what I'm trying to say. Worst thing about CTE as well is that it can only be diagnosed after your death. People with CTE may also experience memory loss and find it difficult to sleep. For example, right, NFL Hall of Famer Mike Webster would electrocute himself into unconsciousness just to get some sleep. WWE at the time didn't have strict protocols for identifying, treating, or preventing concussions. Benoit, like many wrestlers of his era, often competed through injuries which worsened his brain damage. And when they studied his brain, it was so severely damaged it resembled the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Chris Benoit would put his life on the line every single week just for our entertainment, bro. It's not even funny, bro. Like if you go back and look at some of the bumps he was taking, yeah, it's crazy, you know, I can't lie. You could tell that Chris Benoit really loved his job, but at the same time, it's never that deep, you know. Like, you've got people you need to take care of, you know. Steroid use has lingered as a theory as to why Chris Benoit decided to murder his family. Tests conducted by authorities showed that Chris Benoit had roughly 10 times the normal level of testosterone in his system when he died. Benoit also had a heart so enlarged it probably would have eventually killed him. A former professional wrestler, Christopher Nowinski, stated that Benoit was one of the only guys that would take a chair shot to the back of the head. Dr. Julian Bayliss, who worked for West Virginia University Health and Science Center, told ABC News that he didn't believe roid rage was the reason why Benoit decided to kill his family. After finding out the news, WWE would cancel their scheduled 3-hour-long show on June 25th and replace the broadcast version with a tribute to his life and career featuring past matches. But after WWE found out what really happened that day, WWE quickly distanced itself from Chris Benoit. After Chris's death, WWE immediately banned unprotected chair shots to the head. Following Chris Benoit's death, WWE gradually began giving its talent more time off, allowing for a better work-life balance, reducing burnout and preventing injuries from excessive in-ring work. WWE also brought in doctors to supervise matches and started conducting more thorough drug testing. The presence of anabolic steroids in Benoit's system at the time that led to a broader conversation about steroid use abuse in the wrestling industry, with WWE's wellness policy being introduced. Anyway guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you so much. Honestly, you guys already know, you guys mean the fucking world to me. Do you guys think Chris Benoit will ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Because I can't lie, like, he had a really great wrestling career. So obviously he didn't end his story of the best way, but in terms of just pure wrestling, like, he had a great career. So do you guys ever think that WWE will induct him? Tell me what you guys think. I would love to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yeah, I love you guys, man, so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yeah.